10864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
Deep to right field at the warning track. See ya.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
At the buzzer.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Huge win for Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jordan Brenner in for Joey Mack today, and there is a lot of good news to pass along on a Thursday afternoon. So happy you're joining us. I'm Jordan Brenner. Joey Mack is on his way to Tempe, Arizona for a critical Oregon baseball series with the Sun Devils. Whew, that's a big one. We're going to get into that. We'll hear from the head coach of Oregon baseball, Mark Wasikowski, after a bounce-back win, an offensive explosion yesterday over UC San Diego, which was good to see. The losing streak finally over. The offense came through in a big way. It's also Ducks Give 2022. We'll give you a lot of information on that. Oregon women's golf is in position to win the program's first national championship. Actually, if you ask me, they're one of the favorites to win the national championship after that dominant performance at the NC2A Regionals in Albuquerque, actually winning that regional, had the individual champion as well. We'll get into that here shortly as well. We'll hear from a number of student athletes, Robert Johnson, the head coach for Oregon track and field as well. But let's start with Ducks Give 2022. This is just a really cool and big day. This June, we're going to be celebrating the 50th year anniversary of Congress passing Title IX, prohibiting discrimination based on gender in athletics and education. So what are we doing? We're celebrating those 50 years. Oregon Athletics is elevating our mission and leading the charge to further grow women's athletics. So if you give, your dollar is going to it's going to go a long way, I should say, towards enhancing the quality of the female student athlete experience here at the University of Oregon. It's just a really cool deal here. I was talking with Joey yesterday. He was telling me about the origins of Ducks Give, and looking back now, the fact that it's turned into a tradition is a really cool deal. It's awfully organized now. All I could say is just go learn more about it. Go to ducksgive.uoregon.edu. You'll hear all about it. You can read about it. It's excellent. Ducks Give 2022, big day. Wanted to start there. Also today, we got to give some shine to the women's golf program. I mean, in position to win a national championship. This group, 1 through 5, goes to Albuquerque and just adds another milestone to what has already been a historic 2021-2022 season. So they win the thing. Going to the NCAA championships for just the 12th time in program history. The number 2 Ducks claimed this win, shooting a 4 under par round, or finish the week 4 under par, and they didn't just win the tournament. I mean, Texas came in second. They were way behind, so they beat Texas by 3 strokes. Georgia, TCU also going to advance as well, and Brianna Chacon, the junior, becomes the first Duck ever to win the NC2A regional individual title. A stellar 9 under par. First round of the tournament, Chacon broke the course record. I mean, that's remarkable. So Oregon as a group led the field in par 3 scoring throughout the week at even par. The Ducks made 43 total birdies. That's tied with Georgia for the most in the field. Shakoma's the top player in the field on par fours. That's usually a good way to win the tournament. If you're dominating the par fours, that's excellent. And then Cynthia Liu behind her dominated the par threes. So together, that's a great way to go ahead and win the regional in Albuquerque. So what does it mean? Oregon's a front runner to win the national championships. That's next week. It's going to be in Scottsdale. So staying in that side of the country over there. The Ducks have broken almost every school record possible this season, and their entire starting five last week finished in the top 25. So everybody's playing well at the right time, and the NCAA championships are going to begin with the first round of stroke play. That'll be Friday, May 20th. The 24-team field will be cut to 15 teams following the third round of stroke play, and the final round will be set for Monday, May the 23rd. The top 8 teams after the fourth round of stroke play will advance to match play, with the quarterfinals and semifinals set for Tuesday, May 24th. The championship match is scheduled for May 25th. This group, a front runner. Go ahead and bring home the glory. Everybody here in Eugene is backing that team. That is really cool. And more good news to pass on. Let's shift our focus to Oregon baseball. No secret. Entering yesterday, it felt like this team needed a win, and they got it. Offensively, this team was remarkable. There you see it in the second and the third inning, 5 runs. 14 of the 15 total runs for Oregon scored between the second and fifth innings. So coming out of the gates hot early. And, well, Oregon relied on the production of both veterans and newcomers yesterday. It was a must-win game, and the coaching staff adjusted as they saw fit. So Oregon put in the likes of Bennett Thompson. It was his first collegiate start. Sam Nowitzki got back in there. He's been out of the lineup since the return of Drew Cowley from injury. Nowitzki got the start. Bryce Betcher got a start yesterday. And, well, credit the coaching staff for making these changes, because Bennett Thompson, in his first start, 3 hits. Excellent defensively behind the dish. Sam Nowitzki got the start. 2 hits. 3 runs batted in. Bryce Betcher put in the lineup. 2 hits, scored 3 runs. So all of these changes from the coaching staff came through in a big way, and Oregon won this one 15-6. I want to spend some time talking about Bennett Thompson. There was a huge contrast in the lineup yesterday. Here on one side, you have Tanner Smith in his 151st consecutive start for Oregon baseball. This guy's been here forever. That's a program record, by the way. Tanner Smith, 3 hits. Bennett Thompson, his first collegiate start, also with 3 hits. And the umpire, Mark Wasikowski talked about this. We'll get to him in a second. Mark Wasikowski said that the umpire called Bennett Thompson's game behind the plate defensively one of the best he'd seen of the season. So that's remarkable. Bennett Thompson found out he was going to play an hour before the start of the game and comes through with 3 hits. Didn't even have time to tell his family. That honestly sounds like something I would forget to do. Yeah, oh, here's a major life milestone. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. Forgot to let you. But, you know, he's the Medford kid. You know, his parents are – I hope they were able to get the news. According to Bennett, they watch all the time. But that's a really cool deal. Anyway, here's Mark Wasikowski. He was pleased with the performance. He talked through some of those changes, and he gave a lot of credit to Bennett Thompson, talking after yesterday's 15-6 win over UC San Diego.
Coach, must be nice to be back in the win column. Just your thoughts on today's performance from your team?
The team played really well today. You know, I was proud of the guys. You know, there was a lot of things, you know, between the last time we took the field and today that went on, and it was the team really just proud of the guys on the club for putting the efforts in to lead to what you saw today.
Bennett Thompson got his first start on base 4 times. What did you see from him today?
Bennett Thompson's a stud. Yeah, he's a Southern Oregon kid that's just a tough guy and really, really good catcher. He stayed patient. He's waited his turn, and today he got his turn, and obviously he showed very, very well. Yeah.
On that note, you kind of shook up the lineup a bit, Thompson and putting Nowitzki and Betcher in there. All three of those guys made an impact. What did you see from the slightly new look lineup?
Well, they had, I think, 16 different plate appearances, and 12 of them were positive at-bats. And so, those guys were really, really good. Big reason why we won today. Sam Nowitzki's a team leader and an absolute rock star of a person. And so is Bryce Betcher. Bryce is just a tremendous athlete that's stayed patient, waited his turn, and had a very good day today.
What was the difference in the approach, as far as team got together, but what happened to go from one hit to 19?
Yeah, that's a longer answer than I have time for today, but I can just say that there was a lot that happened.
How much? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, how much control do you think like this team is very much like player-led? Like when you have a down day, like are they the ones that are really leading it in the locker room, or do you feel like it's your coaching staff that kind of has to come in and make those adjustments? Do you feel like they're player adjustments, coach adjustments, a mix of both?
Good question. It's a little of both.
What was some of the thought processes of moving around the lineup? Was it, Hall and Walsh didn't start. There was also a lefty starting the nine. Did that go into it, or was this you wanted to shake it up more?
No, we played the lineup that we thought was going to win the game for us today, and that's what happened.
I thought the defense set the tone early on, especially they get a run early. Do you think that provided some momentum for the ball club, especially that Shade robbery out there in center?
Yeah, and I thought the Kasevich relay from Shade was tremendous as well at the plate to get an out and recorded. I thought those were two really big plays. Obviously, Kolby Shade robbing another home run in center field. Both those plays were tremendous defensive plays, yeah.
Going on defense, what did you see from Bennett Thompson behind the plate? It was one thing to go up there and hit for your first career starts, another to go behind there and block some balls.
Well, the umpire behind the plate said he was one of the best catchers he'd sat behind all year, and that's a Pac-12 umpire that's very, very good. I just thought he received the ball very well. He sits quietly, and he's a really good catcher. He's a competitor. Ironically, he gets to third base and he says, "Coach, I can pitch too. I want to pitch." And we've seen him pitch in high school as well, and he is good. But that's just who he is. He's a very confident person, and he comes from a family that's groomed him up, brought him up very, very well.
Anything more specific on how he was one of the best catchers? Like you said, he's quiet, but anything more from the umpire or that you would say?
No, he's really, Jack Marr's catching coach. We've got really good catchers here, and he's helped he's helped Bennett turn himself into a great catcher. Bennett's already brought a good skill set with him, but the progress he's made since he's been here has been ridiculous, and the pitchers love throwing to him.
It's the last time we're going to get to talk to you before the team travels to Arizona tomorrow. What's the scout on the Sun Devils, and what's the importance of that weekend series?
All the weekends are big, and to be honest with you, we've invested so much into our team in the last probably at least 48 hours that we weren't focused on ASU right now. So we'll get focused on ASU, after we take our clothes off and put on different clothes. We'll get there.
A couple of specifics, but I saw that Tommy Brandenburg strictly worked out of the stretch. Is that the fact that he's like a full-time pen guy now, or is it something different?
No, I think Coach Angier, probably had a lot to do with that. He's just simplifying his delivery and trying to help him have success at this level. He had a lot of success in high school. He had a lot of success in travel ball, and then he gets here and he had a lot of success in our scrimmages, and then backed up a little bit, and I think Coach Angier is just trying to help him, and obviously he pitched very well today. I thought a lot of the pitchers pitched good. There were several of those guys that came out today and threw the ball over the plate with conviction. And, Kolby Somers at the end, we haven't seen him here recently. For a while he was getting a ton of work. Rio Britton threw the ball very well. Stone Cherby again came in. He was only asked to get one guy out. He got the guy out that he wanted, that he needed to get, amongst others. Tommy was really good as well.
Speaking on Summers, he finishes with one batter left. Is that more of a pitch count thing that he hasn't been working recently, or?
No, Coach Angier needed to get. Coach Angier just wanted to get Matt Dallas in the game. He needed to get him work too, and so that's why it was such a quick change at the end. Sprinting out to the mound and bringing him in quickly. He didn't want to delay the game and do it that way, but he needed to get another guy with work.
With the lineup changes, obviously one game sample size, but with it working so well today, is that something that might continue to move forward in the ASU series, or?
we'll put the best lineup out there that we think is going to win games.
What do you think are some of those things that you're looking for in whoever is out on the field?
I guess the best way to put it is we know that there's an expectation at the University of Oregon, and when we meet it, we know what it looks like, and when we don't, we know what that looks like as well. And so, very simply, we're going to try to meet that expectation of what fans and people around here expect out of their athletics programs, and so we'll put that team out there that we feel like is the best team that we can furnish.
What was going on with Kolby Shea's headgear out there in center field? I think I counted 4 times he lost his hat. Does he need to make another stop with the equipment manager?
Might need, John Mitchell. We'll get John Mitchell over with him with some pens or something,
Yeah, John Mitchell will be all over that for Kolby Shea. He's been losing his cap all year. Just a fun player to watch in center field, and he had a dominant game defensively. Robbing a home run. There was also a play in center field. Shea barehands it at the wall. Runners coming all the way around the diamond. The relay to Kasevich, one more to Thompson, who made an athletic tag at the plate. Those are 2 momentum plays early in that game that, you look at the score, Oregon wins 15-6. You may not remember a play like that, but that really set the tone. And right after that play, Oregon's bats got going. Arizona State tomorrow. We're going to have a full preview. Joey's going to join us from the road tomorrow. We'll talk all about that series. But it is good that Oregon got a win yesterday, because the Sun Devils are entering that series with some confidence, winners of 4 in a row. They just swept Utah at home. Well, safe to say Oregon has a fair bit of momentum entering that critical Pac-12 series. The Ducks currently sitting 1 game in front of the Sun Devils in the Pac-12 standings. We've got a lot more baseball coming. We'll hear from some of the players, including Kolby Somers, Bennett Thompson. We'll hear from the star shortstop, Josh Kasevich, as well. That's coming up. We're live from the Country Financial Studios. It's Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer starts here at your local Toyota dealer. Come in for huge savings on great Toyotas, like the adventurous RAV4, the sleek Venza, and the Ruby Highlander. For more information, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Summer starts here at your local Toyota dealer. Come in for huge savings on great Toyotas, like the adventurous RAV4, the sleek Venza, and the Ruby Highlander. For more information, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
These are the sounds of a dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, back here in the Country Financial Studios. Jordan Brenner here with you. Oregon baseball got a big win yesterday. We just heard from the head coach of the Ducks, Mark Wasikowski. He mentioned Kolby Somers. We hadn't seen him over the course of that losing streak for the Ducks, so he came out fresh and gave Oregon more than one dominant innings, and he finished his outing with a really fine-looking strikeout. Kolby Somers, they call him Pops. Here he is talking to the media after that big win yesterday.
Kolby, your first outing in a while. Just how did it feel to be back out there, and how did you feel today?
Yeah, I felt good. Credit to our defense. Making plays behind me. Will coming off the bench and making a diving play right away was awesome to see. But yeah, I felt good. Pump strikes, which usually leads to good results, and that was a good team win for us. Obviously after the last 6 games, not going our way, losing sucks, and that was a big one for us.
So what was that mentality approach for the entire club today? One hit yesterday, a lot more today. What was that shift?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened yesterday. Sometimes baseball just sucks and things don't go your way. But today we had a pretty lengthy meeting, just the players, and then we met with the coaches too, and just went over some stuff that we think we need to make adjustments on, and we all kind of agreed that we just really need to focus on having fun with each other and embracing the opportunity. This is a great opportunity. Every day we're together is a great opportunity to be playing the game we love, and I think that can be easy to take for granted sometimes. And so yeah, that was one of the key points. Just loving it out here and embracing the opportunity we have to be with each other every day.
What was the losing streak like from your perspective? I think it's pretty unique because you pitched in one of those 6 games back at Cal, the first one actually. But from your perspective in the bullpen and not being able to actually go out there on the field, what was that losing streak like for you?
It's the same either way. Losing sucks. It's never fun. Obviously, it sucks being contributing to the loss, individually, but at the same time, we're a team, and at the end of the day, it's when we lose, it's on all of us, and it just sucks, and we just had to do what we needed to do to address what needed to be fixed, and hopefully we can get on a hot streak now and put everything in the past. So.
Kolby, you've worked with a lot of catchers, you've pitched with a lot of pitchers, you've been here a while. There's a pretty young battery today with Bennett Thompson, and Brandenburg got some work, and Hughes got some work as well. What did you see from those guys? And you have so much knowledge about the position. Where do you see those guys going in the future?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome to see what Bennett did today. This is his first start, and I think a lot of guys in that position, he probably wasn't expecting to start, and a lot of guys probably wouldn't have been prepared, and that would show in his results, and you'd see that, but that wasn't the case with Bennett. He works his butt off every day, and he's prepared for his opportunity, and that came today. And obviously he was amazing behind the plate, blocking balls all day, and then obviously hitting too. So we're all just really proud of him, and that was awesome to watch.
Waz said he wanted to get Dallas in the game. Did you know ahead of time that you weren't going to go the full 2 innings?
No, I wasn't sure. I knew that Dallas was the only one left in the pen, so I understood the decision to get him in the game, but that wasn't something that I necessarily knew coming into the game.
What was it like for you on the mound, though? You're top of the 9, 2 outs, and all of a sudden you get the hook, even though you're pitching well. What was it like for you?
Yeah, when he first came out to the mound, I was a little confused, but I completely understood the decision, and we always trust the coaches, and whatever decision they make, we back them, and we trust the guys behind us that they're going to get the job done. So it wasn't a big deal.
With the offense struggling in the last couple of games, just what were your initial reactions upon seeing the lineup, or at least hearing the lineup the first time you heard it?
I was excited to see, some changes. Not that, the guys we've had in the lineup haven't been doing good, but I think sometimes when teams get in slumps, you need to make some changes, whether just be putting guys in different spots in the lineup, or just giving new guys opportunities as a whole. I think it was, we were all just excited to see some new guys get opportunities like Bennett, Bryce. So yeah, it wasn't a shock, but it was exciting to see some new guys out in the field.
you've been on this team and in this program long enough to know how important late season, regular season wins are. A win like this after a streak, what does it do for you guys going forward? Because the postseason isn't that far away.
Yeah, for sure. You know, getting hot towards the end of the season is really important. So, you know, even though the last 6 games before this, you know, hasn't gone our way, I think it's really important for all of us to just put that in the past and just focus on what we can do to improve and win games from here on out, because as you said, like it's really important to get hot towards the end. So yeah, we all realize the importance of you know, winning games now, and I think dwelling on games lost in the past isn't going to help us. So yeah, we're just going to have the mindset every day of just improving and do whatever we can to win games moving forward.
Pops. Kolby Somers. The guy's good, guys. Entire bullpen, especially the back end, going to be a real storyline at the end of the season. Andrew Mosiello getting healthy. Logan Mercado. Kolby Somers is still back there, too. Good to hear from him. We have more Oregon baseball interviews after this break. Duck Insider will step aside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. We are in the Country Financial Studios. Duck Insider brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Jordan Brenner in for Joey Mack. We're continuing to talk about baseball because this team is a critical series tomorrow, and they got an impressive win yesterday. We'll start with the shortstop, Josh Kasevich. He broke the seal, homered to left, and the Ducks didn't look back. Here's Josh Kasevich talking to the media yesterday.
Josh, home run there today. Just how are you seeing the ball, and how good was it to see this offense come back to life and score 10 runs for the first time in a while?
Yeah, it was great to see us all kind of get back under ourselves and just put good swings on the ball. We've been working a lot and going through some stuff as a team, and it was great to see that the benefits be reaped today.
Your homer was basically a line drive. Were you looking home run?
No, not at all. Just trying to hit a line drive through the middle of the field.
Just happened to go out.
Yeah, caught it out a little bit in front and went out.
Was there kind of a pep talk going on that I know there's a team meeting, but what did that help a lot? How did that help?
Yeah, it just helped us come together as a group. That's what we're trying to do and just grow together. So that was a big part of today. I think that was more important than the win is just how we're growing as a team moving forward.
Well, how does that transform into hitting the ball more? I mean,
it's good energy. everybody's pulling for each other, that all kind of leads to performance.
What were your initial reactions when seeing the changes to the lineup? Because it's pretty different from what you guys have been rolling with basically the entire year.
Yeah, just trusting in what the coaches do. They have the best plan for us, and they want to help us win. So whatever they put out there, we're good with.
You guys are really solid defensively up the middle, especially with Shade and you and Grant and whoever's behind the dish. What does that mean to you as a team, do you think? And how important is that for you guys in your defensive success?
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in our defense. That comes with a lot of preparation and help from the coaches. But we definitely take a lot of pride in that side of the game.
How much confidence do you have in Shade back there? And he makes 2 great plays. You guys have that relay again.
He's the best center fielder I've seen. So all the confidence in the world in him.
When he robs a home run, what's going through your mind when you see him make that catch? I know you guys get real excited, but what's going through your mind?
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement, but honestly, we see him do it in practice all the time. So it's not expected that he's going to rob a home run, but it's not something we've never seen before.
I think D1 Baseball had you as the 19th best shortstop in the country for Division I. Just with the MLB draft coming up soon, and your decisions, just how do you put away that noise? How do you listen to it? Just how do you go about it?
Just try to have fun here and do what I can for this team. We have a lot of goals as a group, and just doing whatever I can to help us get there.
Kolby said when you guys had your team chat, just the players, you talked kind of about having fun and embracing the opportunity to play for this school and play the sport you love. How does that translate into these next coming games with postseason not that far away?
Yeah, it just makes the game fun. It's why we're all here. We're all blessed to be in this position. So just going out there and focusing on enjoying the game. And we get to come to an unbelievable university and play baseball, which is what a bunch of kids would love to be in our shoes. So just not taking that opportunity for granted is kind of what we're focusing on.
Going through a slump and obviously with a lineup change can obviously be frustrating for some of you players, but I've seen and talked to you guys all year, and it seems like you guys are very much team forward. So how do you feel what role is that going to play going towards the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's everything. It's kind of how we go about our business. We all want to pull for the guy next to us, and we love each other. We consider ourselves a family, so doing whatever we can for the guy next to us is huge going forward.
Josh Kasevich talking to the media yesterday. Excellent defensively. I thought that was a big home run in that game. We talk about the momentum of the defense. Well, the Ducks get back into the dugout in the second inning. Josh Kasevich goes yard. Then, a few batters later, Sam Nowitzki hit a 2-run home run. Ducks didn't look back. Remember, entering the game, the Ducks had been shut out on Sunday. They were shut out on Tuesday. Josh Kasevich, a calming force. That's why a lot of scouts, especially at Corvallis, there was almost 40 scouts there watching players like Josh Kasevich. Good to hear from the Ducks shortstop. Now, I think this is the story of the ballgame yesterday. Bennett Thompson, the Oregon kid, found out he was starting an hour before the game. You're going to hear him talk about this. He was ready to go, right? Jack Scanlon, Josiah Cromwell, they've started every game this year behind the plate. Bennett Thompson got a shot. He was ready, and he delivered. Hopefully his parents were able to see. Here's Bennett Thompson, an impressive interview, his first interview, and it's right here, Scott.
What was it like getting told you were getting your first start today?
It was cool. Today was a weird day, we had a team meeting before the game, and none of us were really sure what was going on, and then it was maybe an hour before game time they said, you're starting, so, I was prepared for it. I was maybe a little surprised, but I wasn't scared by it, so I just was ready to take advantage of the opportunity and, just go play baseball. So.
What was the feeling like when you got your first collegiate hit?
It was cool. It was, once again, it was one of those things where it was a really cool thing, but also not super surprised. Something I've probably seen in my head, 1,000 times preparing for it mentally. But, it was really cool. It was awesome to have, all the guys in the dugout rooting for me. That was awesome. The whole team getting behind me. That was probably the best part of it, honestly. So.
And once you collect that hit, does that take the pressure off a little because you reached base 3 more times?
Maybe a little bit. There's something that my dad always talked to me about ever since I was young, He's like, if you get a hit in your first at-bat, go get a hit in your second. Don't be okay with just going 1 for on the day. So that was something I kept telling myself when I came to the plate, get another hit the next at-bat, another plus at-bat, and luckily I was able to have a few of those today. So.
You also caught your first win today.
That's true. I was able to come in, late in the games a few times, but it was cool to be able to, go from the 1st through the 9th, work with, 5 or 6 guys today. So it was awesome to be able to get that.
Were you more nervous for your first at bat, or like the first inning behind the plate? Just what was your comfort?
I felt pretty good the whole time, I think being told that I was starting a little later in the day gave me a little less time to think about it, and this is something that Coach Martyr preaches all the time, is if you're confident in the work you do, then the game's going to be easy. And so that's something I kept going back to. I put a lot of time in getting prepared, and so, there's obviously the nerves of whenever you're playing a game, but it wasn't anything that was too tough,
A lot of details that go with playing catcher. How do you assess your performance in that area? Communicating with the umpire, framing, stuff like that.
Yeah, I felt like today was pretty good with that. I felt good working with the umpire back behind there today, and the headsets we've got here make it a lot easier than having to read these cards when working with Coach Angier, with the signs and everything. And what's awesome is we had a lot of pitchers today, but I've caught those guys each 100 times in practice, and so it's nothing that's super new, and it's able to keep me a little more relaxed back there, and like you said, slow the game down a little bit, and so that way those details don't speed up on me a little bit too much. So
how's the camaraderie when you got Jack and Josiah playing a lot, now they're on the bench, and it must be tough for them, but also they're rooting for you. Just the team attitude. You describe the team attitude.
For sure. It's one of those deals where we're a pretty tight group, the catchers here, and we're all supportive of each other, whether it's Jack or Josiah or myself, or if anyone else gets in the game. We're all rooting for each other to do well. It's an interesting thing because, you have 4 infielders, 3 outfielders, and only 1 catcher, and so it's an interesting environment, but at the same time, we spend so much time together throughout the fall that we only root for because of, we all want the team to succeed. That's what matters more than, our own individual things. And so it's pretty easy for us to get past that and just focus on helping the team win, and that's by rooting on whoever's playing at that time. So.
You mentioned that the headset makes your life easier instead of looking at it.
Yeah.
Can you explain that process just in layman's terms?
So in the headset, Coach Angier is able to just communicate directly what pitch or what play we want to run in a certain spot versus this headset or this wrist. I'm not going to show it so people can't see that. That would be a really bad idea. But so if you saw that, don't put that in there. But anyway, otherwise, you're having to look on a grid to find a pitch, and then if you got a runner on second base, doing multiple signs, and if you're letting the details catch up on you a little bit, then the game can speed up and be overwhelming. So the headset definitely helps with that. Kind of slow everything down and just being told, throw a fastball in. So that definitely helps.
Was there any moment today that was a little overwhelming for you?
Not really. There's only one time today where I had to look at the grid because the headset wasn't working for whatever reason. But no, Coach Angier does a good job of being direct and letting us know or what he wants the pitchers to do. So
we're a good 30 minutes out. You still got your gear on.
Yeah,
Is this normal for you?
Well, so we just had a few different meetings, and I didn't really have time. And I was asking Todd on my way up here. I'm like, so do I need to take this off, or what's going on here? And he said he liked the look with the full gear. So that's what we were rolling with. So.
Did you get a chance to call your family, mom, dad, anyone, and let them know you were playing today?
I didn't. No, I didn't let any of them know, and so hopefully they watched the game and were able to see that. Hopefully my dad got off work. My girlfriend was at the game, but my family's back down in Medford, a little south of here. But they're always watching games, so hopefully they're able to see that, and I can talk to them afterwards.
Hoping you might have a couple messages on your phone.
Hopefully, people checking up on me.
Bennett Thompson still in the gear. I mean, talk about a busy day, Scott. No time to talk to your family, no time to take off the gear. That's a day Bennett Thompson's going to remember a while. That is really cool. And he sounded like a senior to me, honestly. Really clean, informative interview, comfortable. That's amazing. Really just there's a reason why a lot of catchers become coaches. Bennett Thompson, field general, well-spoken, the whole deal. Bennett Thompson, great job yesterday. Sun Devils tomorrow night. Joey's going to join us on the show tomorrow. We'll have all sorts of preview coming for that series. But for now, let's get a break. Robert Johnson previewing the Pac-12 championships after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s, like go back to college, learn to skateboard. Whoa. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. At aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a free 3-minute chat with the friendly digital retirement coach, Avo, and receive personalized tips to help boost your savings. Start chatting with Avo today at aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Time for the postseason for Oregon Track and Field, hosting the Pac-12 championships at Hayward Field starting this Friday. Robert Johnson spoke to the media. This is another great interview. We'll try and get to Reed Brown and Lexi Ellis. We'll see how we do on time, but it's Duck Insider. And now it's the head coach of Oregon Track and Field, Robert Johnson.
So, I guess opening remarks for you guys is I'd be remiss if I didn't rewind a little bit and go with the 3 Pac-12 athletes of the week that we had from the Oregon Twilight Meet. And of course the Oregon Twilight Meet was an opportunity for us to fill out the rest of our roster, to get 28 people. So some people there getting some last minute homework, some last minute cleanups there in that meet. Great opportunity for us to recognize our seniors there in that process, which saddened me a little bit because we missed one. We missed one of our seniors there and didn't give him his flowers while he was living, and that being Cooper Tier. And we're going to have to find a way to make up for that guy, because that guy was all world for us here at Oregon while he was here. And so we'll find a way to recognize him in his senior moment somewhere in one of our events here shortly. And then that weekend was a great weekend for Oregon Track and Field because we got a chance to look back. And it was special for me because these are the kids that I recruited when I first came to Oregon back in 05, 06, whatever year that was. And that Hall of Fame class there, you know, we were doing a little bit of makeup there as well for COVID. So there was a 2 or 3 years that they were bringing some people back to be recognized and inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so to have those kids come back and be recognized there in the Hall of Fame was outstanding, and a real feather in our cap here as a program to see all those people that we've seen grow up over the years. And now moving forward, we have a great weekend ahead of us. You know, one of the premier track meets in the country this time of year. You know, the Pac-12 championship speaks for itself and how it's been able to elevate track and field as a sport. And so happy to be in the Pac-12, happy to continue to do what we're doing here at Oregon. And so we have a great challenge ahead of us this week. You know, you guys do the dope sheets just like we do, and it'll be a tough matchup between a few teams there on both the men's and the women's side. And so looking forward to get that started, looking forward to move in that direction. The kids are excited, and their state of readiness is where it should be. And this time of year, as I always say to you guys, is not about running fast, not about jumping far, not about throwing far, but it's about putting that big O in front of all the other emblems on this placard here in front of us. And so that competitive atmosphere often brings out those fast times and those far throws and those good distances there in all the events. And so we're going to attack this thing like we always do, from a balanced approach. That's kind of how we recruit. That's kind of how we do things from a team standpoint. So you're going to see us score points in all of our events, which is kind of how we set up our program to be balanced across all events. So having said that, questions?
Robert, it looks like, just looking at descending order lists throughout the different events, that USC maybe has come back to earth a little bit in the sprints and the hurdles. Do you think that they're more vulnerable on the women's side than they have been in the last 3 years?
I think that they're talented, like always. You know, they're there in Southern California, so they get the creme de la creme of athletes, and I think they're going to be formidable just like they always have. I haven't seen any of the start list or any of the heat sheets for where they're placed their people at, but they have tons of talent down there, and that's what makes them such a formidable and a good opponent.
What about on the men's side? You guys have a 14-year streak going. You know, what's your confidence level going into the meet that'll reach 15?
Good question. The good thing about these dope charts and these form charts and these rankings is they don't mean a hill of beans when the gun goes off. And so for us to be able to go out there and compete, because we still have to compete, they have to run the track meet. And then I tell our kids that not to worry about the score. If there's somebody sitting up in one of these boxes or one of these things here that are going to be calculating and tabulating the score, you just make sure that you put green and yellow in front of those other colors. And so that's going to be our mantra moving forward. That's going to be our mantra this weekend, as always. And so we'll see where, let the chips fall where they may.
I'm not going to suggest that you haven't had top-level talent these last 14 years, but is part of the strength been in your depth coming into these meets?
Yeah, these conference championships are always tricky. Like, we're going to have our champions, and we're going to have our people that get those first, second, and third points, which is the kind of the lion's share of the scoring system. But these championships are made up of those people that finish 6th, 7th, and 8th. You know, those are usually what determines the winner, and so those people that finish 6th, 7th, and 8th are going to help propel us over the top if that's what the cards hold for us.
What kind of role are you taking in preparation for this meet? Are you kind of overseeing all the different events, or are there a few that you're hyper-focusing on?
I kind of oversee a little bit of all of those things, but I'll be focused on the kids that I coach to make sure that I'm helping them be in the best position possible, but also just from a programmatic standpoint, making sure that the kids have everything they need from me as well as their coaches.
Who are some of those kids that you've taken, I guess, more of a focus on this year?
Well, I coach the jumps here, and I coach the long sprints. So I see those kids every day, and I work with them every day, and I coach those kids every day. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say those. But for me, being the head coach, you got to have your hands in a little bit of all those spots. So a little bit there in the distance side, on the men's and women's side, a little bit on the throw side, men's and women's, and a little bit on the sprint side, men's and women's, as well as the multis, men's and women's there. So my hands and some of the strategies and some of the ideas of what they can do and what they need to do for this weekend has all been part of that, putting my hands in those different pots.
Hey, what are your thoughts on the 3-day format, as opposed to, you know, splitting it up in years past, and also maybe now having an extra day between prelims and finals for some events?
Yeah, it's a little different. It's something that we went through as a conference last year because of COVID, to condense this meet, and we're supposed to have a 2 or 3 year trial of this 3-day period, and then we're going to sit as a conference after that and decide on if we want to go back to what our tradition is, which is the multis meet the week before the actual Pac-12 meet, which, if you're asking me my opinion, I favor that over our current model.
Why do you favor that, Robert?
Because it's just good for us. It gives our multis a chance to come back. It gives a multis event that probably isn't highlighted as well as it should be an opportunity to have the spotlight and give those kids their attention and their just due. And I think it gives kids more of a break throughout the meet. So I think it's just a better format for the athletes.
Do you have to change anything strategically between the different formats?
Yeah, you do. Max Vollmer and those guys would be somebody that would come back this weekend and do some different events that would help. As well as if you look at the guy from Cal, he would have came back and did the long jump, and I think he's running the hurdles as well, and he opted out of the multis because he already has a multi score. So little things like that just makes more sense from a competitive standpoint.
Talking about your involvement in sprints this year, what are some improvements you've seen from Kai Williams?
I don't coach Makai Williams personally. He's a short sprinter, and remember, I coach the long sprints. However, his improvement is just a testament to what he did indoors. You know, being able to compete indoors, and you got to run 60 meters on your way to 100 meters. So anytime you see kids that are having improvement in the 60-meter dash indoors, you can it bodes well for them moving into the outdoors and putting together the last part of that race model in the last 40 meters.
How do you keep everybody in a normal year? Is there almost too much excitement this year, or how do you keep everyone excited? What way is it going, or how are you feeling?
Well, I've heard a lot of people talk about this is the most historic season and most historic year for track and field in the state of Oregon and here at the University of Oregon. And I would echo those sentiments. Like, if you look at the meet schedule and what we're doing, it's off the charts. And, you know, it's hard for us as humans not to want to look over the fence or peek through the curtains and see what's down the road, but we try to make sure that we just keep our feet on the ground and take it one day at a time and one meet at a time. And the most important meet for us this weekend is the Pac-12 championships.
Thanks, Robert. The big scoreboard, the big video on this week.
Yes, ma'am.
What's that like for the athletes? It seems like they're almost life-size watching themselves.
Good question. We practiced a little bit with it on, and of course, as the people were programming it and put it together, it was on. So the kids here have seen it a good bit just in the testing and the warm-up. So it'll be interesting to see the feedback. It'll be interesting to see when you actually put live video up there how that affects one another. Oftentimes kids get caught up into watching the board instead of watching what's around them, but I'm more interested in seeing the javelin throwers who actually are facing directly into that, how that's going to look when they release those jabs, because we got a few guys that are really talented in that event as well.
And is that why you're practicing with it, to get them used to?
I think it's more so for the mechanics and make sure that the people that are running the run-up show here are on their P's and Q's. Of course.
That was Robert Johnson talking about the Pac-12 championships this weekend. Let's get one final break here on Duck Insider. A lot more to get to as we wrap up after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece. And it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, back here in the Country Financial Studios. Duck Insider is brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union. Well, I'm Jordan Brenner, and for Joey Mack, it was a productive show today. Unfortunately, we did not have time to get to Reed Brown or Lexi Ellis. Brown, of course, running in the 5,000, the 1,500 as well. Lexi Ellis is going to participate in the triple jump. Those interviews are available for you on GoDucks.com's YouTube if you want to go check them out. We unfortunately ran out of time today. Just a reminder about what's going on here over the next week. Women's golf, we touched on it earlier in the show. NCAA championships next week, going to Scottsdale after winning the Albuquerque Regional. And congratulations to Brianna Chacon becoming the first Duck ever to win an NCAA individual regional. That's fantastic. And then Oregon baseball, after that win yesterday, they clobbered UC San Diego 15-6, a 19-hit outburst, getting going with their series with the Sun Devils tomorrow. That'll be a 7 p.m. start, 6 p.m. on Saturday, and then noon on Sunday. That's going to be a hot day down there in the desert, starting at noon. It's going to probably be close to 100 degrees, so that'll be play a major factor in that series. And the Sun Devils, remember, they're winners of 4 in a row. They enter this series 1 game back of Oregon. Oregon, unfortunately, they're going to see their RPI drop this week after that loss on Tuesday against UC San Diego. So, you know, right now, as the resumes stack up for Oregon baseball, they're actually in a really good position. The strength of schedule is one of the best in the country. It's what happens when you play the best team in the Big West and UC Santa Barbara. It's what happens when you go ahead and play Gonzaga, and the University of San Diego has done some good things this year. And by the way, even when they weren't playing Pac-12 games this past week, you get 2 midweek games against Oregon State. That's the number 1 team in the Pac-12. So the strength of schedule is favorable. The resume is good right now. But, if the Sun Devils jump in front of Oregon, all of a sudden it gets interesting. So that's going to be a fascinating series. Joey's going to come on and join me tomorrow. We'll talk all about it. And then next week, Oregon softball. We're going to learn about their fate in the NCAA tournament. Weird deal that they're off this week. It's really weird, especially they're playing so well. They get the last week off, but they're going to be able to facilitate some scrimmages internally and get themselves ready. So it's still a fascinating time here in Oregon athletics, and we'll break it all down tomorrow. Thanks for being here with us today. Jordan Brenner saying so long. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Go Ducks!
Is that a faucet running?
That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me, and in return, I